Hi, it's Kelly once again, and I wanted to make a video on what happened in my spiritual awakening so that if you're having any of these little oddball things happen, you might be familiar with what they are, or at least know to seek more information. My first memorable part of my spiritual awakening mostly happened during hypnosis. I had some hypnosis sessions with a friend of mine, Mary, and was able to connect with my family's souls, and they weren't all dead. So that was pretty eye-opening for me. I was able to start healing a lot of the family drama and BS that we had in my younger days. And it started me on a healing path. This is more than 10 years ago now. Started me on a healing path to understand that there's nothing wrong with me, but I did have some things that I needed to let go of because they weren't allowing me to fully bloom and be what I was meant to be. They were holding me back. You don't heal all at once. It's not like, oh, boom, you're done. It's like the layers of an onion, and you've heard a million people say that, but it's true. So as you peel back one layer, then other stuff comes to the surface. You work on it, you can clear it. And that's basically how it works. So I started the healing with my family trauma. It took a while. There was a lot of facets to it, and I used a lot of different modalities, but the hypnosis was what really opened my eyes to it. I used a lot of craniosacral therapy as well, because the craniosacral releases the energy from your tissues and energy cysts and things like that, where your fascia gets hooked up and snagged and all that other stuff. So that helped me a lot as well. One of the most profound ways of healing physically I learned about was the Wolf non-surgical method. And the Wolf non-surgical method is where they basically take their elbow, they break up calcification and gunk in your tendons, joints. If they're like, they do a thing on your sternum where they take the elbow and they work around your ribs and your cartilage, releasing all this pent up energy. I saw a woman who had been raped get the work done on her pelvic area, and she was able to see the rapist's face. She was able to let go of all of that trauma that was trapped in her pelvic area from the rape. I just kept working on myself. I would work with somebody, and then when my intuition said, you're done with that person, I would move on until another mode of healing was introduced to me. There are still some that I work with, my tried and true methods. Like I said, my craniosacral, I have massage regularly. I still do the Wolf non-surgical, and I will probably do those for the rest of my life. They are just very beneficial to me, and I have a lot of stored negativity and energy in my body that they've helped release. Spiritual awakening symptoms really started with, I had an episode of vertigo that was so intense that it scared me. And I went home and I tried to lay down, which is not something you're supposed to do with vertigo, but I didn't know. And it made it worse. I was nauseous. I was scared. I literally called my husband, and he came home from work and we went to the ER. And by the time I was seen by the doctors, and you'll learn that this is how spirituality works, is I wasn't meant to go to the hospital, but they were like, well, if it makes you feel better, go. But by the time I got in to see the doctor 4 hours later, I was fine and the symptoms were gone. He found nothing medically wrong with me, which is what a lot of people experience. I went home, and that was the end of that. The next memorable physical change I had was I was getting eyelid surgery, plastic surgery, because my eyelids were droopy. And I went to a pre-surgery clearance, which is where they do an EKG, a chest x-ray, blood work, just different things to make sure that your body is healthy enough to have the surgery. And 2 days after, I got a clean bill of health and everything was perfect. Now, you have to understand, I've never had heart issues. So I have good blood pressure. I don't have any health issues. I'm very healthy. Other than eating a little bit of bad food once in a while, I have no issues. So 2 days after I had my surgery clearance, my heart started to race. And it was racing between 80 beats per minute and 120 beats per minute for 8 days straight. Now, If this would happen to somebody that didn't have the awareness that I had developed at that point, they would have run to the hospital. The hospital would have given them drugs and it would have caused a lot of drama. But it was my body being attuned to handle the energy I would be handling with the channeling, which was to come, because I hadn't started channeling yet. But I didn't know what was going on, but they do. So they were helping attune my body so it would be ready for the channeling energy. So for 8 days, even when I laid down to go to sleep, my heart did not beat less than 80 beats per minute. Just to give you an idea, my resting heart beats about 56 beats per minute. So that was a significant difference. How did it make me feel? I was tired. I was unable to walk anywhere far. Like if I got up to walk to the kitchen and it was in that 120 beat area, I got winded. I got really tired. My husband and I still took walks in the evening, but it was very slow. And it was just to move my body because I realized I had to keep the energy moving because it wasn't going to, it would help it kind of speed the process up of whatever it was. But I knew in my heart that it wasn't a medical condition, so I didn't rush to the doctor. Unfortunately, many people do because they're scared. But because I had had that surgery clearance 2 days earlier, I knew there was nothing wrong with my heart and I knew there was no reason for me to go to the doctor. So those were the two most significant physical symptoms I experienced. I also went through different types of body pain, back pain, neck pain, wrist pain, knee pain, just different, like my body was doing something. And when I meditated and I tapped in to what was happening, I was very clearly told this is nothing to be concerned about. It's just your body being attuned. So once I learned how it worked, I didn't worry about any oddball little things. I'm pretty sensitive to my body. If I eat bad food, I know it's going to make me feel a certain way. So I know how my body reacts to different things. So if some random pain just jumps out of nowhere, I don't freak out because I realize it's 99.9% going to be spiritual. There are many resources online about spiritual awakening and physical symptoms. So if you're feeling any type of oddity or something that just doesn't make sense, try to meditate, ask your body, what exactly is this? Connect with your body. I actually created a little recording called Connect with Your Body on Insight Timer for people to use. It's a meditative exercise that allows you to connect with your body and ask your body, what is this? What is the root cause of this thing I'm feeling? And is it something I need, or can we clear it and can it go away? Which is a lot of the ways the different healing modalities work with quantum healing and such. So that's something that you can do on your own, very easy, helps you connect with your body so that you can become more attuned to the signals your body is sending. Because once you connect with your body and you understand its signals, it's going to change your life dramatically. It's going to tell you, oh, I know I can't eat that type of food or drink that or do that or whatever, because your body's going to tell you, no, you cannot run anymore. That's why we make your knee hurt so badly. Or you need to slow down. That's why we're giving you this debilitating disease because you won't slow down like we're telling you to. Everything that happens to your body has a message attached to it. So that's why I like to teach people as a very basic rule of thumb to connect with their body through meditation and understand exactly what it's trying to tell you. That is the best way I can teach you about handling spiritual ascension symptoms. Read about it, do research on it, look it up. There's all these different things you're going to find. Something will resonate with you, and you can learn from that person or that medium how to understand this and how to deal with it. So I hope that helps. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.